Good day, YouTube. Today's topic is if you are lost in life and you have a few good things going for you. For example, you have a solid medical background in the sense that you don't really have a lot of physical issues. So medical, your background as far as with the law is solid. In other words, you don't have anything going on or very minor things. That's good. And you can pass the ASVAB. Then maybe look into the Air Force, because I'm not saying that all the people that are in the military or the Air Force are people who couldn't make it out there in the civilian world. But here's something for you to think about. Think about maybe joining the Air Force or another branch in the military for 4 or 6 years just to see what it's like. My experience, of course, is with the Air Force, so I'm going to talk about that. Think about the 18-year-old right out of high school who has no idea what they want, or they may know, you know what, college is not for me, at least for right now, or I don't have the money for college. What am I going to do? I don't want to work fast food for 5 years and barely make it. So that's the 18-year-old, or the 25-year-old, or the 35-year-old who has more experience in life, that for some reason things didn't turn out the way he or she wanted to. So you can always think about the military. Every branch is different. Of course, my experience is with the Air Force. But if you are lost in life, and like I said, those 3 things about the ASVAB, your medical and your background check, if you're solid, if you're good, then consider joining the Air Force. There's 2 options, the 4-year contract or the 6-year contract. There's other options as well, active duty, guard, or reserve. I like the idea of active duty, and I like the idea of 4 years, signing up for 4 years of active duty. Of course, you have to do what's best for yourself, but I'm going to tell you why I think that. At the age of 23, I was lost in life. I had been kicked out of university. I had been arrested for a minor misdemeanor, which was petty theft. If you know my story, you know that. If you don't, my friend walked into a store. I waited outside. He ran outside with a 12-pack of beer. I was 22 years old, and we both got arrested. So we had 40 hours of community service, 1 year probation, and that was when the light bulb clicked in my world. And I said, okay, I have to do something. I just don't know what it is. I like to travel. I need to get away from the city of dreams, Los Angeles, Hollywood. And that's when I looked into the Air Force. It was the best thing I could have done. I signed up for active duty for 4 years, and I thought I was going to do 4 years, get out, and go back to Los Angeles. But that's when my eyes opened up even more, and I said, you know what, this Air Force thing is a good fit for me. There's structure, there's discipline, there's training, there's travel. You serve your country, there's great people that you meet. And I'm not saying that every single day in the Air Force is a honeymoon, because it's not. It's a job. After a while, it can be routine as well, just like any other job. But my way of thinking is a few ways. Opportunities and thinking outside of the box, making things happen. Don't wait for opportunity to knock on your door. I looked for opportunities. I maximized my 4 years. And by the time I was at the 3-year mark, I said, you know what, I can do this long term. I want to do it. My wife was on board. And that's when I decided long term. For me, joining the Air Force, going through basic training at the age of 24 was a good thing. Yes, there was younger people, 18, 19, 20, but because I had experience, I knew what I wanted and I knew what I didn't want. So that's how come wherever you are in life, whether you're 18 or whether you're 38, and are thinking about joining the Air Force, it's what you make of it. If you're older, don't let that deter you. Don't let that be a factor of I should have joined when I was 18, because you know what? The past is gone. Yesterday is gone. This morning is gone. It's what you do with the time that you have, starting right now, starting today, tomorrow, when that day gets here. What are you going to do? So look at the big picture and do what's best for yourself. Again, there are some very intelligent, sharp people enlisted, an officer in the Air Force, active duty, guard, or reserve. If you want to join, I'm going to leave you with this. I was in a briefing maybe 3 weeks ago, and a recruiter asked, how many of you joined for the how many of you joined for the educational benefits? And maybe more than half of the class's hands went up. And then she asked the question, how many of you have completed your education? And a few hands went up. Most didn't. And the point she was trying to prove is, we say we join for a reason, whether it's education, whether it's travel, whether it's whatever. Once we are in the Air Force or another branch, are you sticking to why you joined? And for me, the answer is yes. I came in with a 1.5 years of college, 1 stripe. I missed 2 stripes in my first class by 1 college credit. I should have got that, but I thought I had that in. And I completed my education, all of it paid for by the Air Force. And then I transferred my post 9/11 GI Bill to my son and my daughter, and they took care of that rest. In other words, they maximized. So even if you're not lost in life and you're thinking about the Air Force, it's a good option, definitely. And if you are lost in life and whatever you've been trying hasn't worked out for you for whatever reason, remember the past is gone. We can't do anything about the past, but we can do something about today and tomorrow and the future on what we select to do, whether it's full-time, part-time, 4 years, 6 years. Do what's best. Of course, I always say, I'm not a recruiter. Do research, ask questions, get answers to your questions, and then, of course, do what's best for you. Take care.